Time for the interactive segment, and Lord Edu Asare is back.
I'm back, Aisha.
You're back.
It's a Friday and I'm back.
It's a good Friday, you know. So what's up?
A couple of interesting stories, you know. President commending the how do you call them?
Ambulance service or the security services.
Exactly, for their rapid responses. And then we find out from people how comfortable they are.
It took them 12 hours to get there.
Let's just continue. So, welcome to the evening edition of the Journeys Interactive. As the most interactive segment, you get to join us on the bulletin with your comments via our social media platforms. Remember, the segment is brought to you by Airtel, the smartphone network, which offers you more talk, longer text, and all the internet browsing with an Airtel 2-match pack. All you have to do is dial *202#. To get in touch with us, please join us on Facebook, Twitter, and WhatsApp. Find us at facebook.com/joinnewsontv. Our handle on Twitter is also Join News on TV, and our WhatsApp number is 0560-800,000. Please don't forget to always add your name and location when you send a message. Now, 48 hours after over 60 people lost their lives while on board a Metro Mass transit bus, it seems the morale of people using MMT buses are thinking twice. At Techiman in the Brongafo region, for example, our checks at the bus terminals to Tamale show few people are traveling up north. So do you feel safe traveling in a Metro Mass transit bus? We've been finding out.
I feel so good because if I am traveling and I should join Metro bus, I feel comfortable. Yeah, because they take rules and regulations. You know the time that you go and reach there in safe. Especially for Metro bus, I feel okay. Especially, I feel okay. Sometimes I don't matter of the price, but I feel like if I should join, send me safely.
I feel very great and very comfortable that I'm joining Metro Mass transit buses to all journeys that I made. Cape Coast, Kumasi, Cape Coast, Accra, everywhere I go, I join Metro Mass transits. It's very good, and I appeal to the government to bring more buses so that it will be safe.
The unexpected happened. It's a sheer kind of negligence maybe on the part of a driver or technically on the fault of the vehicle. That is yet to be determined. But however, they are very comfortable when they are traveling with them, except that they load the vehicle too much. It's seated, the numbers have been given, but then after the number is finished, you see that they will be letting people standing in, whereby in case of any emergency, there is no way you can come out because it's blocked of bags and all, fridges and all that sort of thing, which is not good.
I feel sad when I go on board Metro Mass car.
But you are on it today, if you are sad.
I don't have any option, so I have to take it like that.
A little bit protection, because those things that is happening, it's not fair. We lost in lives. It's something else. So please, I'm begging for the president to protect us when we are going.
But now that you're on board, do you feel safe?
I don't feel safe. I'm a little bit scared, but I know God will protect us if you are going.
I see the bus. I feel like boarded the bus. So anytime I boarded the bus to Cape Coast, accident can come at any time. So if I boarded a car, I didn't escape.
Okay. Now, Aisha, we also asked on Facebook, what are people saying?
Well, a lot of comments are coming on Facebook. Nana Kwame says, I really patronized MMT when embarking on long-distance journey. I always feel safe and secured, and I have always had that belief that I will get to my destination safely, come what may. Kwame Wonder says, is the Metro bus the only vehicle that has been involved in an accident? What of the Benz 207s and Sprinters that are killing people almost every day? Mohammed Astro Damongu says, there must not be trust in the MMT again because all the buses might be facing the same problems. At the first place, I think you want to say in the first place, there was overloading because the highest capacity of a Metro Mass is 62 passengers. How come 60 and still counting passengers? It is very unfortunate. Gifty Ayoka says, I sure won't travel on an MMT bus ain't no good. I value my life. And Yaobomfe Philip says, I don't feel safe traveling. Adam Seidu says, nah, not sure about how safe the MMT buses are now. Draft for Emmanuel says, a frog like water, but not when the water is boiling. Okay, a frog likes water, but not when the water is boiling. Hence, the patronage will reduce. Suleiman Nengdo says, well, an accident is an accident anyway, no matter your means of transport. And Wealthy Evans says, overloading be what? I don't feel safe in them, so I don't use them at all. And Giti Ayoka again says, elsewhere, they would have grounded all MMT buses, shaking my head. And Juliet Atayo says, I feel safe because I am dead already in Christ. We need to raise up as Christians and know who we are and what power we possess. Those were some of the messages coming on Facebook.
Right. On WhatsApp, Abugri Felix says, Metro Mass load masses of people as the name goes. And then here's another from Don Challenger. Hey, I don't get comfortable when you, okay, I don't understand your message, Don Challenger. And here is another. It says, well, for me, I like MMT cars, just that much care needs to be done to maintain the cars. And this is from Dauda Adam from Tamale. And he continues to say that management of MMT buses should be very careful in handling the buses. This is Ibrahim Denga Aspando. He says, I feel as if I'm in my room whenever I'm in Metro Mass. I feel safer than any other vehicle. Okay. And this is Lottie Jones. Okay, Lottie Jones is talking about ambulances. We're talking about MMT buses. Here's another from Pampanko, who's in Tamale. And he says, accidents will always happen no matter how vigilant we might be because some evil okay. He's actually attributing to evil spirits.
Superstition.
I see. And here is from Idris in Tamale. He says, indeed, MMT overloads nowadays, so authorities in charge must do something before more lives go, although it is safe. And he continues to say that they must give more orientation to the drivers. One more comment, and this is, okay, I've already read this one, so I'll just move on straight on. It says, President John Mahama has sworn in John Kudalo as the Inspector General of Police. Now, before swearing in the IGP, President Mahama commended John Kudalo for his professionalism and urged him to collaborate with other transport agencies to work towards reducing carnage on the roads. Although it took 12 hours for the first emergency service provider, the ambulance service, to get to the Kintampo accident scene, which resulted in the loss of at least 63 lives, the President is commending security agencies for their swift response to the carnage. What do you make of this?
There are all kinds of rumors about brake failure and all that, and so I believe that working with the transport organizations, we should see how we can bring down the rate of accidents in our country. Too many families are losing loved ones because of reckless driving and the various accidents that take place. But let me commend your officers and the officers of the security service for the prompt reaction in terms of trying to rescue people.
Well, so that was the president actually commending the IGP, but we also hit to the streets and let's see what you've been saying.
I don't see the reason why the president should recommend the security service. For me, because in the situation in the country now, I don't see why he has to recommend them. Because as, for example, let's take the case that is happening in Agogo, the Fulani case. It has been happening for weeks now, and still we've not heard anything about the security services. And there are so many cases in Ghana that have happened, and the security decided not to have any. Because I think last 3 days, the same incident happened at Ouija. There was an accident, a Metro Mass accident at Ouija Junction. I was there, likely, it was just some few minutes before it happened. I think it took days before the security people were there to move away the cars. So I think recommending them is a very bad idea. Serious, it's a very bad idea.
I think that instead of just moving ahead to commend them, he should have at least waited to get a feedback. But now that we all know that the feedback came in, and then it was just later, after everything has been said, and then we got to know what the incident is, I think it's not the right thing. We should have just relaxed to ascertain the real cause, the real problem, so that at least they have come out with something better.
He shouldn't have commended them. In the first place, they should have got there as early as possible to look at the situation at hand before you have to commend them. They are smartness.
For an ambulance to have arrived at Kintampo within 12 hours. It is very bad. So that is why the MPP used to say that the president is incompetent. Anybody who is incompetent cannot, he's incompetent. That's why he said that the security agency is doing well.
Yeah, Aisha. So let's see what's on Facebook.
On WhatsApp, Philip Henson says the accident should have been prevented in the first place. Has the government called for investigation into the accident? No, because there were no big men. What is the maintenance culture for the buses? I'm sure he's talking about the ambulance buses. Are the drivers also trained periodically? Abdullah Ibn Hussein says, what a sad news. President and his ministers must stop this mere recommendations and work to the expectation. Their duty is to protect lives and not to recommend security after loss of lives. When the accident occurred, the survivors were taken to the nearest hospital, which was the Kintampo Government Hospital. The hospital's ambulance could only carry 2 patients at a time. So most of the seriously injured survivors were taken to the hospital and in the beds of pickup trucks and in backs of taxis. Those who made it alive to the hospital were told there were no beds, so the injured were made to lie on the floor. A doctor at the hospital described how shortage of emergency drugs and total lack of oxygen made them incapable of saving many lives. Meanwhile, a bunch of ministers flew in the hospital on board a helicopter. So honestly, I don't know what they went there to do. They didn't bring any drugs or oxygen with them. If someone had been thinking properly, they could have loaded that chopper with doctors and drugs and even mattresses to go save lives in Kintampo. Menkachal says, if it were true that the security and the ambulance service had responded as expected, more lives would have been saved. And Kofi Apintin said, let them give us the cost of that operation and compare it to the cost of providing basic hospital supplies like oxygen beds in advance. Let's wrestle the nation from hashtag incompetence. Gilbert Kobna says, non-fast statement by You see, sometimes when well-meaning Ghanaians criticize government, they are either insulted or branded as MPP. Could government have used the dubious money paid to Smarties for the maintenance of the buses? I guess all the victims of this unfortunate accident are MPP members.
Now, also on WhatsApp, this is from Dauda Adam in Tamale. He says, professional drivers should also be employed to drive ambulances. Okay, and here's another. And he says that the rebranding money would have bought more ambulances. And this is Idris from Tamale. And Shiftman from Atonsi says, but we could have averted some of these accidents if better measures had been instituted. If government can take priority in bus branding than bus maintenance, our problem is the cause of visionless leadership. Well, I'd like to take a short break from here. This is still the Journey is Interactive. Please stay. Welcome back. Journeys Interactive is brought to you by Ethel. And we've been taking your comments on all the issues, but sorry, for now, let's take what's trending on Twitter, Aisha.
On Twitter, we have the Big X show, GMW 2016, beach party with the stars, find a Jacob noun. And then we also have Feminine Friday. Then you can see underneath Vangal, Man United, Nigerians, Europe, and Ghanaians. That's what's trending on Twitter tonight.
Okay, so I want us to take a look at our trending pictures. What do you see, Aisha? These are clothes hanging behind Well, they're trotro.
What does this mean? Is it that the driver hanged his clothes there?
Actually, when you're on the move, you want your clothes to dry up quickly so that...
Or does he sleep in the car or something?
Well, I always say trotro is a compound house on wheels, so maybe this justifies it. Yes.
I mean, it gives a picture of probably a driver or a mate who washed his clothes and then forgot to remove them because maybe he was in a hurry to go get his passengers.
Perhaps, but we will never know.
Because I'm just wondering how a passenger will do this. It's a driver or a mate.
Well, let's just hope there'll be no stench in there somewhere. Well, let's take our second picture. Yes. Pay before you do what?
Boo.
Pay before you boo.
It's straightforward.
Period. I mean,
then you boo.
Straight to the point.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. Well, it's been an interesting Friday night on the Journeys Interactive segment. My name is Lord Edu Asare. Good night.
And I know what you're going to do after here. You're going to play music and dance. We'll be back with more on Journeys.
Joy News Interactive.